Hello everyone, my name is Robert Forto and today we're going to talk about the serum run. If you live in Alaska, undoubtedly you know about the Iditarod. But did you know it's based on a life-saving expedition to deliver serum to the residents of Nome in 1925. If it weren't for a group of brave men and their dogs, the city of Nome and its residents could be a potential disaster. If the serum run had failed in 1925. We're going to look a little bit more into the history of Nome and the epidemic. We're going to talk about the mushers, their dogs, and how we commemorate this event today. In 1925, the population of Nome was about 2,000, made up of miners, prospectors, and their families. In the late winter of 1924, a diphtheria epidemic hit the little town. The key was to get the life-saving serum from the railhead in Nenana, 640 miles to the city of Nome. This would have to be done by dog sled. Air travel was still in its infancy and the expedition would need to be coordinated with the railroad and a team of mushers that carried the serum in a relay. The trip would normally take about 25 days, usually used by carrying mail. Now it would need to be done in less than 2 weeks in temperatures from 19 to 64 degrees below zero, and to complicate matters, in the dark of late January and early February. A call to help was flashed and 20 mushers signed up for the relay. We're going to talk a little bit about a few of them. One was Wild Bill Shannon. He was the first musher to take the serum from the train 64 miles down the trail to the next checkpoint. Shannon was a mail carrier, like a lot of these mushers were, and he set out on January 27th towards Tolovana, 52 miles to the northwest, with a team of 9 Malamutes. Later in the route, Charlie Evans took the serum. He was a 22-year-old Athabascan with a team of 9 dogs to run to Nualto, 30 miles away. Another musher was Harry Ivanov. Harry started off towards Gullivan. A half a mile down the trail, he picked up a scent of reindeer and Bedlam broke loose. Fighting to straighten out his dogs, Ivanov took off to see Leonard Seppala and his team of racing Siberians, the only such dogs in the relay, hustling down the trail. Leonard Seppala, the little Norwegian, and his lead dog Togo, is probably the most famous sled dog on the run. He covered over 150 miles, more than any other musher in the expedition. 20 of those miles were through sloshing and heaving ice over the sea ice towards Nome. But Togo, the hero of many sport dog racing today, knew the trail and its dangers. He also had the uncanny ability of carrying out Seppala's wishes even before Seppala gave his command. Gunnar Kaasen. Kaasen ran the last 55 miles to Nome to honor and fame with 13 dogs in harness and ironically with one of Seppala's lead dogs, Balto. Everybody knows about Balto. Let's talk a little bit about dogs, and that's why I'm out here today. This is my group of sled dogs, and we hope to run in the expedition this coming February, which I'm going to talk about in just a second. The Eskimo Huskies, as they were called then, were the perfect job for this task. Each musher on the expedition had teams of sled dogs that averaged 8 to 10 dogs to about 150 dogs. Each dog ran their portion of the expedition, typically from one major roadhouse to the next, averaging about 75 miles. Let's talk about Togo. Togo was the lead dog on Leonard Seppala's team and probably one of the most accomplished dogs in the relay. In fact, his stuffed body is currently on display at the Iditarod headquarters in Wasilla, Alaska. Next, let's talk about Balto. Balto was Kaasen's lead dog and probably received the most credit and notoriety of all sled dogs on the expedition. There's a statue of him at the start of the Iditarod in Anchorage on 4th Avenue, and there's even a statue in New York City's Central Park. The Iditarod and the Serum Run expeditions. The Iditarod as we know it started in 1970 with Joe Reddington at the helm, wanting to pay homage to those mushers who completed the Serum Run in 1925. The Iditarod run runs each year the first Saturday of March and runs along some of the same routes of the original Serum Run and finishes in Nome. The Serum Run expeditions. In the late 1990s, Colonel Norman Vaughan, an Arctic explorer and Iditarod finisher, wanted to pay respects to those who ran the original Serum Run in 1925. He set up an expedition to run along the same route from Nenana to Nome and hopscotching down the trail and teaching a mission as he went. At each checkpoint, those who took part in the commemorative 1925 Serum Run expedition that was held every other year would stop in the villages and deliver a mission. The last one being in 2012, where they talked about suicide prevention and the importance of preventing suicides in those villages. The Dream Chaser Expedition. I, along with a group of other mushers and snow machiners, are planning an expedition starting in February of 2016 along much of the same Serum Run route. We planned a documentary and show our portions of the trail and how we deliver this message as we go along. In conclusion, now that we know how this event in our history pays homage to Alaska and how it's tied to the Iditarod, we also know how this expedition would not have been possible without the bravery and sacrifice and perseverance of both man and sled dog. In February 2016, I will be taking part in the Manly to Nome expedition, which I'm helping organize, called the Dream Chaser Expedition. This expedition will follow along the same route as the original Serum Run and will speak to villages about our mission and how we are commemorating history. Thank you very much. Goodbye.